Hello and a very good evening and welcome to the 2023 Hampton Football Netball League season. It is the very first Hampton Netball show and we are excited. It's back up. We've had 6 months off to regenerate, rejuvenate. And Trish Butters, it all commences this weekend, round number 1.
Yeah, very early this year for us. We don't usually start this early, but it'll be good. I'm sort of looking forward to it now.
Yeah, I think you sort of get tired by the end of the season, no matter what your role is within a football or netball team or club or league.
Yeah.
But by the time the season starts, you think, oh, I just can't wait to bite my teeth into it and get into it once again.
I think when the launch last week, that was great and sort of invigorated me. All right, let's get into it. Let's get started. And
then before we go to our guests, we've got some great guests. We've got Sarah Smith from the Warrnambool Football Club playing 100th game, joining us tonight on the show, and Shani Maloney, new coach at Terang Mortlake. And we'll go through the teams and that very soon. But gee, there's some quality players coming in and a bit of movement around the competition as well, which I tend to like a little bit. I love that little bit of movement just to ensure that we've got a really fair and even competition.
Yeah, I think there is. I think there's a few things to talk about. And I think we're all South Warrnambool at the end of last year winning the premiers. I think it's made Cobden hungry. But I know South are still got a lot of improving to do, according to their coach, Will. Absolutely.
No, cannot wait. We'll go through all the games and look at what's happening in round 1 very soon. But we're going to go to the Zoom. And our first guest tonight, the 100-game milestone is reached this week for Warrnambool in Sarah Smith. And Sarah, thanks for joining us on the Zoom. Much appreciated. Really looking forward to chatting with you once again.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, first and foremost, congratulations, 100 games, senior games in the Open Division, still relatively young as well. And I know you made your debut at 15, 16-year-old age group, but to reach 100 games must be pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is really exciting. They're making a bit of a fuss about it, which I'm not. I'm a pretty shy person, but yeah, I feel pretty good. It's exciting. I can't believe I've been playing for that long, really.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised too. I was sort of 100 games, really? She's not that old. But obviously your first game, how old were you again, Sarah?
I think I was about 15 or 16. I remember I was up at Hamilton. It was the scariest day of my life, I reckon.
Tell us a bit about the pre-season of the Warrnambool Blues, Sarah. Obviously, we can't shy away from a couple of nice recruits that you picked up in that off-season. We had Meg Carlin come over from Croydon, but also too, Belle Baker. Wow, what a player to bring into your lineup, and I guess to complement with what you had last year. And it was a really good year by you guys last year with the young side that you had on the court.
Yeah, we're really excited. We probably didn't finish the way in the finals we wanted to, but having Meg and Belle makes this really versatile team. We're not as predictable. We have we've played a couple of practice matches and we've all been playing in different positions. So yeah, we're really excited to have a different side and bring up a few juniors. And yeah, we're really excited.
You're probably in the enviable position, actually. You've got a lot of goalies looking at your recruits, or goalies, and you already had some ripping goalies there with Amy Wormold. What's going to happen in defence? I see you've lost Montana Wallace, who's one of your defenders. That'll be an interesting lineup, Sarah.
Yeah, it is a bit interesting. We're not set in stone at the moment. Amy's actually been playing a bit of defence at the moment. She's learning it down there just because we have Belle strong in the goals and Meg's really strong in the goals as well. So I'm not quite sure what Raywin and Lauren will come up with, but we'll see how we go. It should be good.
Have you played defence before? You might get thrown in there.
One spot I'll never go. Me not chasing them.
You just spoke about Laura and Raywin. Obviously, Laura Peake's come on as co-coach this year. Obviously, Raywin's had the role for a number of years now. Tell us a bit about how the joint coaching situation's gone so far, and obviously having one great netball mind and now increasing it to 2 great netball minds must be really beneficial for the club and for the playing group.
Yeah, it's awesome. We're getting lots of feedback at practice matches and training and Thursdays and stuff. And they're both pretty similar in a way, but they also see different sides to the game, which is good. They're both really confident and good with feedback and stuff, especially with the juniors coming through and the new recruits as well. It's been good.
So you play the Portland Tigers this weekend over at Hanlon Park, so you've got to travel for the 100 games. So no doubt the family will be over there and cheering on from the sidelines. But I think Portland, obviously last year, showed some great improvements, so it'll be a pretty tough hit-out first round.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Portland really improved last year. So yeah, we're not going into it too confident. I suppose it's going to be a close game. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Well, congratulations on your 100-game milestone. What a way to bring it up. First round of the Hampton Football Netball League this year. Congratulations and best of luck for the weekend and for the year ahead. I really appreciate your time, Says.
No worries. Thanks for that. See ya.
Good luck, Sarah.
Sarah Smith from the Warrnambool Blues. And, we had her last year, spoke really
Yeah,
well. And
yeah.
I just think it's a great achievement, 100 games.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I like the way the Blues are moving at the moment. I think they're going to be, I think they're going to improve.
I've certainly got them in my top 5. I think they're going to be one of the teams to beat. We knew last year how well they played and would have been really disappointed how they went out and had brought a lot of their juniors through. We haven't even talked about Eva Ryan. She's a tall shooter, but
She showed great signs when she got the chance last year.
Yeah, I think she can play both ends, in fairness. So, they're going to be a tall team, which is always hard to beat.
Meg Carlin, Mel Baker, wow.
Yeah,
a couple of
absolutely.
nice players had in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, let's go to the Zoom. We're going to go to Terang Mortlake region now, and we're going to catch up with the new Senior Open Division coach, Shani Maloney. It's a bit of a homecoming this year. Shani's obviously had that affiliation with the Bloods in previous years, but spent a bit of time away and is back in the region. Shani, thanks for jumping on and chatting with us on the Netball Show.
Thanks, Trent. Good to be here. Hi, Trish.
Hi, how are you, Shani? It was great to see you back and back around involved in Terang Mortlake netball.
Yeah, it's super exciting to be back, and in some ways it feels like I've never left. Lots of same faces around, and they've just all made me feel so welcome, and it's been great so far. So
I know when we spoke in the pre-season chat, it wasn't sort of, I guess, you coming home wasn't going to be a long one. I know you had other plans, but somehow you've decided to stay, and I'll tell you what a benefit it's been for the Terang Mortlake Bloods so far, I guess, in the pre-season, and obviously now we look to the season proper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good. Obviously I'm heading to Europe for a couple of months at the end of the year, so we sort of just pushed that trip back with the change of plans. But I'm really excited that we have, and really looking forward to the year.
Tell us a bit about what your goals have been over the pre-season. Listening to, I think it might have been one of the players, Grace. It might have been on. Was it Grace? Emma Lucas on the launch night. She really commented on how much structure's been implemented, I guess, with game style, but also too with training and so forth. Tell us a bit about what you guys have been concentrating as a list and as a team over the pre-season.
So pretty much what we've been doing is our pre-season, I guess Operation Get Fit a bit really is obviously everyone on everyone's pre-season list, but is the agenda, but we've been really focusing on that match fitness as well, and we did that through those round robins where we played against, which the Terang Netball Association organised for us, which we played Miranda, Camperdown, ourselves. We had 2 teams, which really helped us to get a good look at everyone, and sort of, I guess, it gave us enough time to still work on that fitness if it gave us a fright of how unfit we were. So, that's sort of been the focus in terms of pre-season, and now we've sort of moved into a lot more of that court play and ball skills, where we've implemented a training structure that we follow, which is the teacher and me train, which you'll laugh, is like a training instructional model, which is pretty much just like we're following the same process every week, learning a new main learning of a skill, and then implementing it in gameplay through different skills. So, it's good. I think it's been everyone's been really receptive, and hopefully everyone feels like they're learning something. So
I'm really looking forward to seeing you play that structure, and I'm really glad to hear you've got some of those great juniors back around your club. So Holly Castledean's back, Grace Wareham back, and the two Alices, Alice Suan and Alice Kane, back from boarding school and playing every week.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, so they're both 17s, Alice Suan and Alice Kane. They're at boarding school in Ballarat. So the plan with them, is they'll train with the club up there, and then they're making the venture back. So, they'll be 2 really big ins for our 17s as well as us and seniors. 2 really tall girls, and Alice Suan is really versatile as well, and they're just really big ins there. Grace Wareham is another really big in that we feel will be really beneficial for us. She's super versatile. Probably similar to Warrnambool, which never really happens. We're quite goalie heavy. We have a lot of attacking goalies. Let's say we've probably got 4 in our team who can probably play goal attack midcourt. So we're really excited about that, and we've got that versatility, which is great.
I think Terang Mortlake had a really sound list last year when Sharon had the reins, but and I spoke to Shani about this in the pre-season chat. Injuries just really curtailed the blood season, and they had a really nice start. Obviously, Ebony Knight's come on and was a really good find in the goals. And then injuries just started coming, left, right, and centre. And we just probably didn't get to see the best of the Bloods. But I think looking at your list and seeing what you've added, Shani, I think you guys can certainly be some mover and shakers this year in the competition.
Yeah, and we believe that as well. Like with our recruits that we've got, we feel like that we will push some of those teams and be competitive, more competitive than last year without the injuries. I think as well with the injury front, thankfully we have a little bit more depth with those new numbers coming in, which is something we probably lacked. So therefore, if there are injuries, which is most likely, we've got a little bit more movement and depth with everyone throughout the team and throughout our whole playing group, which is great.
Yeah, because Emma Lucas was a big injury last year too, and had her out for most of the season. I know she was really disappointed. I was talking to her, and she just started to hit her straps and got a serious injury and took her out for the rest of the season. You will miss Amy Maloney through the centre court though at Shani, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she's a massive loss. But yeah, hopefully we can make up for it. With our other ends, but she'll definitely be missed. Yeah.
Are you playing, Shani?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, where's the coach going to play herself? Where are you going to be doing the damage?
Well, yeah, that's what's interesting. We're trying to find out what combinations are working best, which will probably take us like a few rounds to get into that. I think figuring out what's going to work best, because between Jackie Arundel, Grace Murray, and myself, Alice Sewin, we're all sort of attackers. Well, Alice Sewin can be into defence, but and we've obviously got Ed Knight, who's a pretty strong goal shooter. So, pretty much we have those mid-courting goal attacks with quite a bit of versatility, as well as Ava Grundy, who's a great 17 to jump into our side too. So, what the best combination where I see myself right now is a little bit blurry, but, we're working on it. We're getting there.
And the last question, obviously, you guys take on the old arch rivals and the Camperdown Magpies this weekend. We know that Camperdown have lost a lot of key players, and that's just due to university and obviously things that they're doing to better their lives and so forth in regards to study and work. But they're going to have a young list, but I still think you just can't take these games too lightly, can you? You can't be complacent, because I think this year more than any again, and we said it last year, but this year's going to be a really tight year, and every game's going to be tough, I think, on any given day.
Yeah, 100%. And I think Camperdown are definitely not to be underestimated. When they came over and played in our round robin pre-season, well, not our one, but the pre-season round robin that was around at our courts. They've got a young playing group, got a really strong young playing group, and if Em's going to jump in there for them as well as I know Grace Lucas is jumping in there. Who knows, Tracy might jump in there. I feel like they're saying that they're not going to be all that strong this year, but I'll believe it when I see it.
On that note, Shani Maloney, great to have you in on the Netball show tonight. It's great to have you back in the competition, buddy, and thanks for taking the time to have a chat.
No dramas. Thanks, guys. Looking forward to it.
Shani Maloney, the new Terang Mortlake Open Division coach, and she was a great player before she left, and to come back and obviously bring back her experiences from where she's played previously, and obviously that coaching position, I think she's going to be a great find.
Oh, definitely, and she will develop the juniors, and just her coaching style, as you say, teaching background. Those kids will be eating out of her hands and doing what she wants, and I've certainly got them in my top 5.
They're going to be hard to beat, the Bloods. I think they're going to be they're one of the big improvers this year.
Any team that's got a multitude of goalies, that's gold in any netball team. If someone's off, you can swap it around, and as she talks about, they're versatile. They can play in goals, they can play defence, and play mid-court, and that's just that's gold.
It's going to be vital, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, let's quickly go through a few of the other sides. I know there's been heaps of play movement and so forth, but we'll just touch on a few.
Yeah.
So Camperdown, we're well aware of their losses, but Emma Wright's going to play some games, which I think is fantastic. Grace Lucas is going to play as well.
Annabelle Lucas is back.
Annabelle Lucas is back. So it's not all doom and gloom. And I think the great thing about Camperdown, they've got some really good leaders there. Obviously, some great coaching there that's going to help these kids really benefit.
Yeah, and I think that's it. And Emily Stevens has gone on record as saying it's about teaching the kids how to protect their bodies.
And Megan Titmus is also going to be a part of it as well.
Yeah. How to protect their bodies and how to play against stronger women. Because we're talking about some players that are actually under 13. One of them, Piper Stevens, is a gun. But she's tiny. She's a shooter. It takes a while to learn that sort of thing, and most clubs bring their juniors through with a whole heap of experience around them. So it's really great that these people like Emma, I think Emma's away the first 4 weeks, and to be fairness, she's overseas, but they need that experience around them, and when things get tough, that they can actually keep the kids going and keep them, not devastate them. You don't want to devastate kids. That's right. And they are good. They've got some really strong juniors through there, but they're still young.
I'm excited to see what Camperdown do this year. I actually think, we can talk about the doom and gloom, but I'm excited about what they can achieve this year.
Yeah, they've got some real talent.
Because I guess they just go in with a nothing to lose attitude. Yeah, if you go in with that, they'll pinch a few wins.
Absolutely, they will.
Next team, Cobden Bombers, the runners-up of last year. They've been runners up a couple of times now, and you just feel that they're just edging so much closer to that elusive premiership. The quality they've added back in is unbelievable. Massive. Jamie Finch, Amy Hammond, Sophie Hinkley, Jess McGlade.
Yeah, huge.
And they haven't lost anything. I think Jess Boucher might be one that was mentioned that might not be playing. But other than that, 4 players. If I'm Sophie Hinkley, I'll be having some sleepless nights on Thursdays, Fridays to try and work out what that combo looks like in their open division squad and game times and so forth.
And I've been listening to Sophie a lot in a lot of interviews she's done and pieces in the paper, and it's all about not reflecting on last year, not reflecting on the end goal, but reflecting on each week as it comes.
That intrinsic motivation.
I think that thing hanging over their head of not winning a premiership, that can just weigh you down. And I think you've got to stop thinking that. And I think she's on the right track there about what can we improve each week. And they are in, crosstown rivals, Camperdown, struggling. They are in the position where they've got a lot of players right across all their grades, and they've still got those strong juniors who may not even get in this year. You're talking about the twins, like the
Taylor twins,
the Taylor twins, who blooded last year. Got so many senior players. It'll be interesting to see how they manage their list, and that's a hard thing to do as well. And Sophie's admitted that.
Awesome coaching. Set up there
Great
with Sophie
culture.
And obviously Nadine McNamara. They've got probably one of the best players in the comp, if not the best bowler. Was judged the best player last year in Ren McCann. The Bombers, I'll tell you what. I don't want to jump on too hard early, but they excite me, that's for sure.
They do.
Hamilton Kangaroos, I'm excited. I actually think these guys will play finals this year.
Yeah, okay. Well, I tossed up them and Terang Mortlake.
And the reason I say that, when I did a little chat with the Somerville girls in the pre-season, just that steely resolve in their face, how determined they are. They are warriors on the netball court. They play hard and they want success. They're taking the coaching reins. They've kept their list. They haven't really lost much. I know they've added Danielle Van Kalken, who's come back, who's played in the Southwest League as a shooter. I think
Maisie Phillips coming up.
Maisie Phillips. And I think too, they finished the season really strongly when they had their whole list playing.
Started off strong, got decimated with injury.
And then they finished strong. So I think they're the big improvers for mine.
Maybe. Yeah, definitely. We could say that about a lot of them.
Well, I know,
honestly.
I know. But I just there's something about Hamilton that I like, and I just think with the 2 girls, they seem very method-based and very structured-based with their game style and the way they want to play. The way they were speaking, I just got a feel.
Very win-focused. I could see that too.
So I'm looking forward to seeing the Kangaroos. What about Karoit? Interesting times. Great to see Kerry Jennings come on as joint coach with Kate Dobson. We talk about how good our coaching is in the football. Our coaching in the netball is just phenomenal. And 2 awesome people, as well as 2 very awesome netballers in their own right. Where do you see Karoit? Obviously, they've lost a couple of players, but they're still always thereabouts, aren't they?
As we say, we never write them off, but no wins for them, and that was a big thing for me. But they already had a lot of really good players. Mick Cullen, I think, is a big loss for them, really tall goalie, and Matilda Sewell, a big loss for them, and Emily Robe Dobson.
And Belle Baker, as we spoke
and Belle Baker. All of those people, big losses for their club. In saying that, like Camperdown, they have got the nucleus of super juniors coming through, and we saw that last year in the finals. They won every grade down through there nearly. So they will have room to bring them through, and I think that's been their problem. You know, they've always had that really good senior team, and you can't bring your juniors in.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden it opens up and there's spots there. So you can never write them off, I agree.
What I love though, it actually brings like a player like Layla Monk, who's still relatively young
Yes.
in age, but has been
Yeah.
in the netball program for a couple of seasons now.
Yeah.
She's that experienced one
Yeah.
that's going to rally around them, and I just love the fact they've got those type of players that are still young in age, but have probably got 2 or 3 netball seasons under their belt.
Yeah.
They're the new leaders.
They are,
Aren't they?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's go to Port Fairy. New coach, Alana Edwards. She's got some real passion and excitement about for the Seagulls. They're going to be young again, we know that, but they didn't get a win last year.
No.
They will get a win or two. I reckon even a couple more this year.
Yeah.
They'll build on that.
Same thing. They got hit by injuries big time last year. 2 girls coming from Horsham, which I don't know much about, Ellie Coulahan and Mia Burgess. It'll be interesting to see them play and see what positions they play and what sort of style.
I think
players.
Alana, when I was speaking to her, had a lot of positive words to say about young Mia. Burgess.
Yeah. And I wrote on my list because I had 4 names and more. There was a list this long, and I thought there's a lot of new players to their club, and that's great for their club to do that and build up that senior team. And it'll take a while. I can't see them making top 5 this year, but I could be totally wrong with that. These girls could be guns, and we don't know.
Right.
So I'm making predictions on what I think, but I think it's a building year and building this strength back in their open team. We know their Div 1, Div 2, Div 3 has always been
juniors,
strong.
their netball program's strong at Port Fairy.
Yeah, it has been pretty strong. And so giving those, having the depth around their open is really important. They just didn't have the other players around them last year.
I can't wait
really
to see what they do too. I think, like Camperdown, young side, but I think they're capable of some
Unfortunately,
good
they
things.
come up against the almighty South Warrnambool.
Yeah,
this
tough one
weekend.
to start with, absolutely. Portland Tigers, very quickly, new coach, which is fantastic, Ellen Zernett.
Yeah.
We know from basketball, but a very
yeah.
accomplished netballer too. And obviously daughter Katie plays in that team. Again, another side, I think we're going to see some really good netball throughout the course of the year.
And I think those juniors like Talia Barr and, I can't think of her name.
Maddie Stone.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Another year in seniors, they look strong. I saw Talia play the Mermaids last week and came on and just went bang, 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 So she's very fit, quite player, both of those girls. And I look forward to them taking another step this year. So,
I love that Ellen's jumped on board. She's got a passion for it too.
She's
strong.
Fitness
strong
will
passion.
be a real key there for them. She'll be pushing that.
The Eagles, obviously, your side when you're not Hampton Netball executive stuff. You got your allegiances with North Warrnambool. Matilda Sewell's a big coup, and I think this young lady is going to be an absolute revelation for the comp. Maisie Barlow.
2 defenders, which is what they needed in because they lost 2 strong defenders.
Rachel Ryan
and Geordie Billings. They're big outs. So 2 defenders in. I think it's just what they need. I think it'll be interesting to see developing their juniors up again. Some of them had a few games last year, and hopefully they build on a bit of depth. I hope that's all the knowledge I have. I haven't been I haven't seen a throw of netball, so I feel a bit guilty. But I'll have a look on the weekend. I'm really looking forward to seeing them play against that Hamilton Kangaroos and have a bit of a look and see what they all look like.
I reckon they got one of the best coaches in the comp.
Yeah, Maddie
Vardy.
Yeah,
she is just keen.
Yeah. She's very keen.
Very keen, and
they're very fit. She's done a lot of fitness work over the summer. She's got a really nice manner when she's talking to the players too.
And the way she instructs on the court is going to be important. And I think, she's just the right person for the job. And I think North's going to be hard to beat this year. I think we talk about the Souths and the Cobdens.
Yeah.
North Warrnambool will be one of those sides. I think that's the top 3, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then the Roosters. Not much change with player personnel, but I'll tell you what, they do get one super player back in, and that's the 2021 Dot Jenkins medal winner, Ali O'Connor. Wow.
What a big in. Yeah, absolutely. And haven't lost any. Kept their grand final team looking very fit.
Yep.
I was talking to Will at the launch, and he was saying they beat some team by 80 goals or something like it. They just sort of was a bit like Mercy, call the Mercy rule. Certainly a big in for them. They won't take anything for granted. They will be mixing it up. I think this year they've gone with a different structure, gone with just an 8 in their team, which is probably good for them, and then bring up what they need and strengthen their other grades as well. So, Yeah, they're still the team to beat for me. You know, you're a premiership team and you add in a best and fairest league winner. You have to be the favourite. I'm sorry. Cobden, though, not that far behind. They've probably brought in 2.
I think we were talking markets. We'd have like South maybe $1.05 and Cobden about $1.07. That's how close it is.
Yeah, it's going to be. It'll be a tough. That game will be a ring dinger. I'll be out there watching that. That's for sure. But as you say, like there's other clubs that are coming behind, and you don't know what they're going to be like to get out there on the court.
I personally think that from 1st to 8th, or let's say, I'm going to say South and Cobden in my mind are the top 2.
Yes.
Whatever way they finish, it doesn't matter. But from 3rd to 8th, I think there's a logjam of teams that can actually finish in between that.
I do
think it's going to be exciting. And I think we spoke about how good the comp was last year. With the player movement, players that have come in, new coaches and so forth.
Yeah.
I think 2023 could be one of the best.
Yeah, and I think Shani hit the nail on the head with depth is going to be very important in the clubs, because that's what hurt Terang Mortlake last year. That's what hurt Hamilton.
Yep.
That's what hurt Port Fairy. Not having that depth and bringing, and North in the end. You know, Maddie did a collarbone in the final. You know, you've got to have depth, so because you know you're going to get some injuries, and that's just the way it goes, and it happens, and hopefully not season-ending injuries, but having that depth that you can rotate players is really important.
I think doing all the coaches catch-ups I've done throughout the pre-season, it seems like every coach at every club's actually put a real, as you said, when we talk about depth, they've actually put a real emphasis on that Division 1 team.
Yes.
They really have.
Yes.
Like there's been a lot of thought that goes into Division 1 purely because you need those contingencies when those injuries do occur or unavailabilities occur in your open division. So,
and it used to be, well, and it still is, I guess, to a high degree, that the 17 under team was the backfill into that.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are already playing in there. So, you know, you have to have both of those being operational and strong to be a strong contender, I believe, these days.
Let's look at the weekend's games. Round number 1, season 2023. I'll get a tip because we are running out of time. Trish, South Warrnambool will head over to the Gardens Oval to play Port Fairy. Where do you see this one going?
Well, I can't go past South Warrnambool. We just talked about them. You know, Port Fairy rebuilding, but it's not going to be on Saturday.
Not an easy first-up game.
Not an easy first-up game.
I agree. I think the Roosters get the job done. Portland host Warrnambool. Sarah Smith's 100th game for the Warrnambool Blues. I reckon this is nearly one of the games of the round.
Yeah, I do too. I think Portland, we know, are always hard to beat in Portland. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know, it's the travelling. They say they travel all the time. And I guess they do, and they're used to it. Other clubs are not so used to it. But I think Warrnambool is going to be one of the teams to beat this year, and I think they will win this one.
I'm following Warrnambool as well. Koroit head up to the Cobden. Cobden hosts the Koroit Saints.
Yeah, this will be a good game, and traditionally would have been one of the games of the round. But I think, you know, Koroit, no new ins. I think, and Cobden with 4, you know, guns. Let's step up first, you know, on-court players for any other club. So I think they will win.
I think the Bombers as well, but I still think Koroit will be very, very competitive. There's no doubt about that. North Warrnambool will take on the Hamilton Kangaroos out of Bushfield. Another great game, and gee, this one could be an interesting result as well.
Yeah, it will be an interesting. I've picked North on this one, and I really want to see how they play against the Hamilton Kangaroos, because as we know, I think it'll be a closey, to be honest. I think this might be one of the really close games.
Yep.
I know traditionally they've always matched up
pretty
well against one another. I think they play a similar style. I think it'll be a high-paced and pretty full-on game.
Yeah, energetic game.
Yes, absolutely. But I'll go with the Eagles at home.
I'm going to sit with North Warrnambool. Speaking to Maddie, just inspired me on how they're going to go this year. But in saying that, I think Hamilton, it'll be a close game. But I think, the North Warrnambool Eagles just. And Terang Mortlake take on Camperdown.
Yeah, I think this will be a win for Terang Mortlake, and it'll be good for them. Like, just talking to Shani, they have got a lot of new players in there and a lot of fitness going through there. Camperdown, we know it's going to be a rebuilding year for them.
Yep.
And I think Emma Wright's in, so I think it'll be Terang Mortlake easily to me.
I'm sticking on the Bloods as well, so I think we've all gone the same for
yep.
the first round of matches. Our Hampton League Live match of the day this weekend is Cobden taking on Koroit. So if you're wanting all your footy and netball scores throughout the course of the day, jump on 94.5 3YBFM, or you can jump on the live stream from 2 p.m. on the 3YBM Facebook page. Now, we better go to our all-important sponsors.
Yes.
The first one I want to make mention of is Miss Kit, Jodie Lay, jumped up back on board this year for
Playing
our
around.
netball MVP, so
Cool. Excellent.
which is absolutely fantastic. So in Croydon Street and Warrnambool for all your beauty needs, they do it all. So Miss Kit is the destination to go there. Our major sponsors: Powercore, McDonald's, Southwest TAFE, and also Powercore. Great to have those organisations back on board for 2023. And then we're going to give a good rotation of mentions to our other great sponsors. There's that many, the list full is just unbelievable. We can't get through all of them, but tonight we're going to give Carter Group a mention. Tootie Carter and Karis and the team, we appreciate their support. Frolic Lane, great bar, great venue for a quiet drink. Trish, I know you frequently go down there with the cohorts. The Warrnambool Racing Club, Lukey Can and all the team at the Warrnambool Racing Club, and Deakin University, which are obviously a great supporter of our women's football,
great.
but also our league in general as well. So we thank Al McCosh and the team at Deakin University. Well, that brings us to the end of Yes, jump in.
Just two things I want to say. Firstly, just a reminder to all clubs that our coaches, we've advertised for our coaches for our Association Champs teams, closes this Friday. If you're interested in doing that, so 13s, 15s, 17, and the Open, let's put them all out there.
Well, we'll put Dot Jenkins and Mari in for 13s again, I reckon. Sign them in, long-term contracts.
So don't forget that. And I'd just like to thank all of our clubs. Off-season is a busy time for clubs, and I know they'll all be so happy on Saturday when everyone runs out or steps out onto the netball court, because it's the build-up is huge for them.
It's long.
Yeah, it's a long build-up.
Because it doesn't stop from after the season.
No, it doesn't. And, we talk about all this movement between clubs, and, there's a lot of stuff happens and a lot of pre-season, and I know that first game is really important. So thank you to all those, and the coordinators, they do a super job out there, and they're all volunteers.
Yeah, all legends. We love the way they go about it, and that's just what makes our great league, flourish and shine.
Yeah.
On that note, we're finished up for tonight. Thanks for joining us on the Netball Show. Looking forward to having your company each and every Wednesday night throughout the course of the season. And I hope you get out there and enjoy the first round of the Hampton Football Netball League this weekend.